Okay, this lesson is over determining the slope and the y-intercept from a graph. We have talked briefly in the past about slope is the rise over the run. We have shown you this format of the slope-intercept formula, and we've talked about this letter right here represents the slope, and this B represents what we call the y-intercept. That simply means it's where the line crosses the y-axis. I always say B for begin, because in a lot of this stuff, this is where we're going to begin. When we're graphing or when we're trying to figure out what the equation is, I usually start with the y-intercept. Alright, so if we look at the example here, the first thing that I notice, the easiest thing to see is the B, the y-intercept, where that line crosses the y-axis. I usually highlight my y-axis in some other color so that I can easily see where the line comes and crosses the y-axis. And it crosses at the -4, so my B is -4. Alright, to figure out the slope, they've given us 2 points, and the slope, we're going to calculate the rise and the run between these 2 points. If you'll notice, remember we talked about rise over run. To get from point to point, I have to rise 2 units and run 1 unit. My rise is 2, my run is 1, that equals 2. So my M is 2. So I've got my M, I've got my B. Now I can write my equation. And I'm just going to fill in this format. Where there's an M, I'm going to put a 2x. And where the B is, I'm going to put -4 because B is negative. And that is my equation for this example. You need 2 pieces of information to write an equation. You need the slope and you need the y-intercept. Once you have those 2 pieces of information, you can write the equation of the line. So let's look here. Again, I'm going to highlight my y-axis so that I can easily see at what point this line crosses the y-axis. And if I follow the line, I see that it crosses right there at the 3. So my y-intercept is 3. And remember, we're filling in this format. Alright, they gave me 2 points, so I'm going to create that little stair step, and I'm going to rise 3 units and run 3 units. So my rise over my run is 3 over 3, which equals 1. So my slope is 1. Right here. So now my equation, all I've got to do is fill in this format. In place of the M, I'm going to put a 1. In place of the B, I'm going to put +3 because it's a +3. Now if you'll remember, we talked about 1 times x is just x, so really I don't need to write that 1. I'm just going to write y equals x plus 3. And there's my equation. Alright, number 2. I'm going to highlight my line. And if I follow my line until I hit the green, I see that I hit the green right there at the 4. So my y-intercept is 4. And then I'm going to create my little stair steps. There's my stair steps. And notice, let me say this too, because we talked about this yesterday. See how the line is going up? That makes it positive. And my slope was indeed positive. See, this one is going down. So this slope is going to be negative. Now to get from point to point, some students, they've tried to go this way, make their stair step this way, and it's fine. We recommend though that you follow the line and you go from point to point, left to right. So I'm going down 2 units. Oops. Miss Colvin made a mistake. It's funny, this is the second time that I filmed this and I made the same mistake the first time. I notice that these are going by 2s. So this is going down to 4 units. It's going down 4 units. And this is going by 2s as well, so it's going over 2, 4, and then halfway to the 6 would be 5 units. So my rise over my run equals -4 over 5. -4/5. Now I could have done this way. My rise would be positive. My rise would be +4. My rise would be +4, and my run would be 1, 3, 5, -5. And this is a +4. In that case, I would have 4 over -5, which still equals -4/5. If you have one negative number in the fraction, it's a negative fraction. So it's the same either way. But again, we recommend going from left to right when you go from point to point. Alright, so now I'm going to fill in. I've got my M, I've got my B, I just plug it in. Y equals, in place of the M, I'm going to put -4/5 X, and then in place of the B, I'm going to put +4 or +4. Alright, number 3. Okay, I'm going to highlight my y-axis in green. This one didn't give me any points. I have to find the points. A couple of things I'm noticing. The line is going down from left to right, so I know my slope is going to be negative. It's a negative slope. And I see that the line is crossing right here at the 5. So that's my y-intercept. Now I just need to find some other clean points. I see a clean point right there, right there. There's several. And from point to point, I'm going to do these little stair steps. And, oops, there's one right there too. You don't have to do all these, but I'm just showing you that it's consistent all the way down. I'm going down 1 unit and over 2. Down 1 unit and over 2. Down 1 unit and over 2. So my rise over my run is equal to down 1 unit over 2, -1/2. And remember, we're filling in this format. So it's y equals -1/2 x plus 5. I'm just plugging in. Okay, number 4. Here's my y-axis. I'm noticing that from left to right, the slope is going up. This is going to be positive. Alright, looks like this line is crossing right there at the 6, so that's my y-intercept. And I just need to find some clean points. Looks like that's one right there, and right there, and right there. So I've got these stair steps. And so from point to point, remember we're going left to right, you go up 3 and over 1, up 3 and over 1, up 3 and over 1. So my rise over my run equals 3 over 1, which equals 3. So that's my m, that's my b. So y equals 3x plus 6. Alright, number 5. Here's my y-axis. I notice that my line is going up. This is going to be a positive slope. This line crosses right here at the 1, 2, 3, 4, negative 5. I need another clean point to compare. It's hard to see. I think the next clean point is right there. So from point to point, I'm going up 2, 3, 4, 5, and over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. My rise over my run is 5 over 6. So my equation, remember we're just filling this in, is y equals, I'm placing the m, I'm going to put 5/6 x, and then I'm placing the b, I'm going to put minus 5 because it's negative. Last one. There's my y-axis. I'm noticing that the slope is going down, so I know it's going to be a negative slope. I can go ahead and put that negative there to remind myself. Okay, this thing is crossing the y-axis at the 1. So that's my y-intercept. Now I need to find some clean points. That looks like a clean point right there, right there. So from point to point, here's these stair steps. Remember, we're going down. So I'm going down 3 units, so that's negative, and over 4. Down 3 units, and over 4. So my rise over my run equals negative 3 over 4. Oops, gosh. Okay, so I'm going to put that here, making my equation y equals negative 3/4 x plus 1. And that's it.